Hey guys, welcome back. So this week I'm going to talk about Intellivision Amico and the reasons why I love this system. So first of all, if anyone doesn't know what the Amico actually is, it's a brand new console from Intellivision, and the concept is family gaming, couch co-op. Brilliant concept, and I love the hardware that I've seen so far and the games that I've seen, and I will talk about that in a moment. So if you want to know a lot more about the Amico, down in the description there's a link. Just click on that and it'll take you to the Intellivision YouTube channel, and you'll be able to learn a lot more from the people at Intellivision. So, number one reason why I'm excited, the games. Obviously, if you're going to buy a new console, the one thing that's going to sell it will be the games. Now, they have several different categories of games. So you're going to have the casual games, you're going to have the board and card games, you're going to have sports games, sports and recreation. You're going to have brand new IPs, which means that the developers can make whatever they want for the system. And then of course you have retro reimagined, where they take classic 70s, 80s and 90s video games, reimagine them for the modern day, give them brand new graphics, brand new soundtracks, and they make them have multiplayer so that we can all play together instead of playing separately on separate devices. Brilliant, cannot wait, I'm really excited about that. Now, some of the games that have been announced absolutely blow me away so far. I've never played an Intellivision console, so I don't know the Intellivision games. But the games that I've seen so far, like Moon Patrol, Astro Smash, Night Stalker, all look really, really good and really fun. And on the Intellivision Amico app that you can download onto your phone, there's a very, very short demonstration of how Moon Patrol plays. So obviously you're not going to get the full experience because you haven't got the Amico controller, but you can have a basic experience. And trust me, it's a lot of fun. I've played it loads. It's literally only lasts about 10-15 seconds. It's very short, but it's great. On top of the Intellivision games, there are also arcade classics like Asteroids, Pong, Missile Command. Then you've got games like Breakout, you've got Kung Fu Master, and the one that really got me at the beginning was R-Type is coming back to the Amico. They also have a brand new Earthworm Jim. Now the people who work at Amico, the CEO Tommy Tallarico and also Dave Perry, who are two of the members of the original Earthworm Jim team. They have up to 6 of the original 10 members working on a brand new Earthworm Jim game that is going to be exclusive to Amico. Now, all of the games on Amico are exclusive to Amico as well. Now, you may say, well, those games can be done on any system. I understand that. But the reason that they're exclusive is because the games are being tailored specifically for the controller. And the controller has a lot of technology built into it, and therefore these versions of the games can only be played on Amico. They can't be played on other systems because they don't have the ability to play them with their controllers. So there's a lot of great games coming out, as I say. I've been really impressed with what they've shown so far and talked about, and obviously there'll be a lot more coming in the future. And for me, it's not just about retro reimagined either. Most of those games are the ones that I will play initially, of course. And of course the system as well, by the way, comes packed in with 6 games, which, you know, you can't argue with that. That's absolutely brilliant to have 6 games out the box and 2 controllers as well. What more could you ask for? Absolutely fantastic. But as I say, it's not just about the retro reimagined for me. I like the look of the card games, the dice games. There's a game called Cornhole. Never heard of it in my life. Didn't know what it was until Tommy talked about it. And I'm not a big sports guy, I ain't gonna lie. I don't really follow any sports. Any sport I actually watch is occasionally I watch the World Cup, and every year I watch Wimbledon. That's my limit with sport. But Cornhole is really simple and looks really interesting and tactical, and it is harking back to that Wii Motion bowling on Wii Sports. And I went on YouTube the other night and I actually watched some footage of actual real Cornhole and watched people playing it, and I was hooked straight away, and I was like, wow, this is actually really cool, and I can totally see, if you compare it to the Wii Sports and the bowling, how this would actually work with an Amico controller, which I think is absolutely brilliant. So the games absolutely sold me, and therefore I wanted to buy the system. Then you have the hardware. Now the console itself is really cool, and I will say that not everything has been revealed about what the console and the controller can actually do so far. It is still fairly early days, and there is a digital event coming up on the 4th of August, which I would assume is going to tell us a lot more about the hardware. So the console itself looks really nice, beautiful design. It's got really cool lights around the side. Now the lights aren't just cosmetic either. They do, from what I understand from interviews, they actually do factor into how you play the games and how the console interacts with the player, which is really fascinating. I'm interested. I've watched some interviews, and some of the older interviews I've listened to, especially one I listened to recently, seems to indicate that there's going to be a lot more interaction from that console. It's not just going to sit on the shelf and be a machine. It's going to be something that actually is part of the family, which fascinates me. I'm really looking forward to finding out more about that. Now, the controller itself is incredible. The controller has got a touchscreen, a gyroscope, an accelerometer, a speaker, a microphone. It's got a 64 positional disc, which also acts as a D-pad. It has physical home and shoulder buttons. It's ambidextrous, so whether you're right-handed or left-handed, you can hold the controller and play it any way you want to play the game. It's absolutely fantastic. Tommy is also in an interview with Review Tech USA, Rich. This was a while ago now. He mentioned about playing retro games, and Rich asked him about how you're going to do that with this controller. Now, I've thought about it, and actually it's not that difficult when you look at the controller and you think about where you place your thumbs. Like for me, I'd have my thumb on the disc on the left-hand side, my left thumb, use that as a D-pad. Right thumb on the touch screen can do some motions, and then you've got the two shoulder buttons. So I'm thinking, like, if you're playing a game like Gradius, what I thought was you could use your left thumb on the disc to move left, down, up and right. You could use the shoulder buttons, one to activate a shield maybe, and this is not Gradius, this is just like that kind of shooter, and the right shoulder button to fire your weapon. And then, you know, there's orbs you get in Gradius that protect you. What I was thinking is you could use the touch screen with your right thumb, and you could use that to move the orb around to eliminate any enemies that manage to get through your gunfire. So there's all these possibilities. But what Tommy said to Rich was that they have an idea. Well, not an idea, they have it, they've done it. They have something they're going to show in the future, and it's a while off yet. I asked Tommy about this on Twitter the other day, and he said it's down the road, not going to tell us about it anytime soon, unfortunately. But the idea is, the concept is, they have physical buttons, 4 physical individual buttons that you will attach to the touchscreen, and they will act like old school controllers basically. So you'll have the D-pad with the disc, and then you'll have 4 physical buttons which the touchscreen will react to. Now, I'm absolutely fascinated by this because nobody's talking about it from what I've seen in the Amico community on YouTube. And I'm really, this is the one thing I'm most interested to find out about when Tommy and Intellivision do actually talk about this and unveil this technology, because I don't really understand how it's going to work. And I was concerned that, well, if they're 4 individual buttons, how big are they going to be? How are they connecting to the screen? Are they going to be magnetized to the screen? Are there going to be some other technology? Is it going to wear out over time? Do they come with a carry bag so that you don't lose the buttons, which Tommy did confirm to me on Twitter that yes, they are individual buttons, and yes, they do come with a carry bag so you can, you know, store them away safely. I'm fascinated because I think it's either going to be an amazingly cool idea that no one's ever thought of that's going to work and make really well, or I'm just going to go back to using the disc and the touchscreen. I don't know, we'll wait and see. But I'm willing to wait and find out and see how it works in practice and see someone actually using it, and then it'll probably just make a lot more sense to me. But, you know, it's cool because, you know, it's a new idea, it's fresh, and I like the fact that they're trying these different things. So I think the hardware in particular is really cool, a little bit mysterious with certain things because we don't know yet, but it has a lot to offer, and the controllers look absolutely fantastic. And as I say, you get 2 controllers in the box. You haven't got to buy an additional controller. The machine does support up to 8 players though, so you can buy additional controllers. They will be selling those. And Tommy said that when they sell the additional controllers, you'll be able to buy them in a pack with a charging dock as well, which is another brilliant idea. You know, so you haven't got to buy a separate bloody charging dock. Also, if you've got 8 players and you can't afford, obviously, to buy an additional 6 controllers, the Amico app will allow you to have ability to play on your phone with your family. Now, of course, it's going to be the more limited games, I believe. I don't think it's going to be the more complex games because you will need the complex technology that's in the controller to take advantage of those. So you've got to think about multiplayer. Like, for instance, Moon Patrol, you could have one person controlling the movement of the buggy, another person controlling the jumping action, and another person controlling the shooting. And then you can also have a 4th person who's controlling the aliens trying to attack the buggy. And you've got to all work together, you know, to try and defeat the aliens while the other person trying to defeat all 3 of you. That's really cool. So I think with that you could do that kind of thing using the mobile phone as well, because if you're just doing movement or you're just shooting or jumping, there's no reason why the app couldn't take care of that for you. So I'm really excited. I think the games look great, the hardware looks great, and another thing that I really love, and the thing that's really selling me the most, is simplicity and couch co-op and family gaming. Because for me, I'm getting older, and I'm at a point now, I said in a previous video, I'm craving simplicity right now. I love modern gaming, it's great, and you know, I enjoy the stories and all that, but the games are so long, they're so involved, The controls are really complex nowadays, which I don't particularly have major problems with. Occasionally I forget what button does what, but generally I do okay. I can still play them. But I just want that simple gameplay, that be able to just pick up the controller and, you know, just play Breakout for half an hour or play Moon Patrol for an hour or so. And, you know, when I'm with family, I can get my dad to play video games. Now, my dad doesn't play games. He did back in the 70s and then a little bit in the 80s on the Commodore 64. And then after that, it wasn't really until the Nintendo Wii when we played a lot of games together. That Christmas in 2006, we played a lot of Wii Sports. Even my mum played. My mum does not have any interest at all in video games. She couldn't care less. She has gotten to a point now where she's starting to play games on a tablet, which is massive progress. But those are mobile type games. You know, I don't know much about them. So I like the idea that I'm going to be able to get my dad and my mum, hopefully, back on board playing these games. Because I've explained it to them already. I've said about, you know, things like Cornhole. It's a very simplistic game. You just got to basically swing the controller and throw the beanbag. You know, there'll probably be more to it if you want there to be. But as Tommy has said, it seems to be that with the games, they have the ability to program in a way that when you're playing with multiple people, say, you know, your father, your mother, your brother, your sister, your grandparents, there's going to be different levels of ability. So obviously me, I played games all my life, so I'm going to have a high level of ability. Whereas my dad will have a lower level of ability. And my mum will have even lower level of ability. So you can have, say, he demonstrated this in the missile command video, that you can have the complex controls of moving the cursor around, selecting your turret to shoot down the incoming missiles, and you know, if you're not so au fait with gaming, instead of using different buttons, you can just press down and it will just fire from any turret. That way you can include everyone. We're not excluding anybody. Everybody's able to play together. Brilliant. So for me, that's an absolute massive plus point and something that really does sell me on the system. And I just love the idea that it's bringing back the simplicity. It's bringing back the couch co-op, bringing people together again. We're not all just sitting in the room looking at our phones or our tablets and, you know, not being social. And that is a big problem these days, as we all know. So absolutely fantastic. And then really the last thing that really sold me on this system is Tommy Tallarico himself. I've watched pretty much every interview he's done on YouTube. This man goes out of his way to talk to anyone on YouTube. He's even offered to do an interview with me, you know, and I'm nobody. And you know, you've got people on YouTube who have either got like 10 subscribers, 100 subscribers, they could have 1,000 subscribers, they could have 10,000 subscribers. He doesn't care. He'll talk to anybody that's interested in the Amico and wants to talk about it. And I find that absolutely fantastic because, you know, what CEO of any big company is going to go out of their way to do that? You know, I know he's selling a product, but, you know, he doesn't have to do it. He could quite easily have done no interviews whatsoever, waited until nearer the time of release and done the usual marketing push and then done a couple of professional interviews with professional outlets and big influencers on YouTube. But he didn't. He decided to come out and talk to us little retro game channels and to make the effort, and I really applaud him for doing so. I think the guy's great. I really do. You know, every interview I've watched, all I've ever seen is a man with passion and a man who's completely down to earth and has never let the fame go to his head. This guy has got such a career under his belt. He's been in the gaming industry for decades. You know, he composes music for some of your favourite games like Earthworm Jim, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, Aladdin, Virgin 1 on the Mega Drive, Cool Spot, and many, many other games that he's been involved in. Global Gladiator is one of my favourites. You know, he's done video game music live, which is incredible. I mean, I've never been able to see that, but I've seen it on YouTube and it's just an amazing show. He's just, you know, now he's CEO of Intellivision, and he used to host a TV show back in the 90s as well called Electric Playground, which is great. It's on the Electric Playground YouTube channel. Well worth watching that. It's really fun. So, you know, this is a man with a lot of credibility, and, you know, in his position at this time in life, he doesn't need to do this. He doesn't need the money. He doesn't need the hassle. He doesn't need to go out of his way to talk to people, and yet he does because he has that passion. He believes in the project, and he seems like a very nice guy who's just a people person and enjoys talking to people about something that he's incredibly passionate about and loves. And when we are the same way, he vibes off that, and I think that's so cool. And, you know, I'm not going to go into all the negative stuff, but of course there has been some backlash to the Amico and to Tommy in particular on the internet, as is always the case now, because that's the default position of a lot of people, to be negative, not to be positive about anything. But that's just the way it goes. But, you know, the way I see it is this: you know, as a consumer who is not being paid by Intellivision or has not been asked to make a video by Intellivision I'm doing this off my own back because I want to just talk about a system that I think is going to be a massive success and looks really cool, and it's something that I want to put money into. You look at the Intellivision team, there's no way you can say that this is a fake console and that this console is not going to come to market and it's all a big scam. You've got Tommy Tallarico, you've got David Perry of Shiny Entertainment, massive bloke in the gaming industry, and recently they hired Jay Allard of Xbox fame. Now if you know who Jay Allard is, there ain't no way Jay Allard is going to put his name to a system that he thinks is a bit suspect. He knows that Tommy and Intellivision are on the right track and he can see the future. So, you know, people need to calm down and stop complaining when they haven't even played the system, let alone actually seen it in action. It's just insane to me. I don't get it. But yes, that's why I'm excited. The games look great. The hardware's really cool and really interesting. I love the simplicity and bringing back that couch co-op and bringing families together. And I think Tommy Tallarico is a brilliant ambassador for Intellivision and for the Intellivision Amico. And I, for one, cannot wait to get my hands on the GTO Red console when it's eventually available for pre-order. So, as I say, guys, down below in the description, I've put a link to the Intellivision channel. Go over there, check out the video, see what you think. It's absolutely fantastic. And if you like what you see and you want to get involved in the Amico community, Open Every Box Pete has a brilliant YouTube channel, and every Wednesday night he hosts the Amico All Access Podcast, which is absolutely brilliant. I'll put a link down below to Pete's channel, Open Every Box, because I really enjoy watching the Amico podcast every week. The All Access Podcast has an array of really great guests, and they talk about all the latest news in the Amico world. So thank you very much for watching this, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope, if anything, if you don't know what the Amico is, it will encourage you to go and have a look at it and to learn more about the system and see if it's something that you'd be interested in. This is not another flashback. This is not another Coleco Chameleon or Ouya. This is a legitimate family-based console. So go over and check out Pete Open Every Box's channel. Check out the Amico All Access Podcast. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. It's a really fun podcast to watch every week. And of course, please go and check out Intellivision's YouTube channel. Take a look at the Amico, see if it's something you're interested in. I'm pretty certain you will be, because it's a lot of fun. And yes, thank you very much for watching, guys. Please leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think of the Intellivision Amico, and I will see you in the next video.